Tough game on Saturday, but when we were talking after, we both kind of agreed that one was winnable with, a couple corrections. So when we talked after the Northwood game, you spoke about the leadership of this team, how they kind of pulled themselves back after a tough loss.
Yep.
What did they show you after this last one?
No, I think it's kind of, they realize they know kind of what's going on and what happened, and I think they feel like it was a winnable game as well. It's just, again, it's those one or two possessions. You cut it down to 6, and it's right there for you. You got to get a couple more stops, and it could have been a totally different game. So it's again, we're building, it's a work in progress, and I think we're going in the right directions. We just got to make a couple plays down the stretch to really execute, and it could be a different outcome either way. But again, you always do the woulda, coulda, shouldas afterwards. But it's just getting ready and prepared now for our next game on Thursday.
Not to dwell on the past too much, but again, back to the fourth quarter of that one. Holsworth hits that 3 with, I believe, 7 minutes left, and you guys are within 6. And it felt like that would breathe life into your side. I know it did too, but I mean, in a game where the margins are that close and they get blown open, I mean, how do you, as a coach, help your players to capitalize on a moment like that where maybe their confidence just isn't in the right place? Obviously, shooting the ball has been just tough for you guys around the perimeter. What do you do in that moment?
Again, it's just saying, we take it one possession at a time. We take every game one game at a time. Mac hit that 3, and I was like, okay, we're good here. And then they come back and they answer, and it's like, oh, okay, we got to keep going. But that's what a good program does. It's what a good team does. And we're still working to get there yet. But I think we have a lot of good pieces, and that's what I keep telling our team. We have a lot of talent that we haven't really tapped into quite yet. But we're getting there, and we're taking little steps. But it's gonna happen. I'm gonna keep being optimistic with them because I think it's coming.
Well, Kobe brought up Mac's big shot there in the fourth, and Mac is a player I've actually wanted to ask you about. I mean, she's really been pouring in the work lately, double-figure scoring 5 of the last 6 games, and over that stretch she's played a minimum of 37 minutes in each of those games. I mean, talk about the kind of the strides that she's taken this year, jumping from being a true freshman, kind of getting her feet wet last year, to this season being the starting point guard.
Yeah, we kind of threw her into the fire right from the get-go, but she's getting better again every game. She's taking on a leadership role every game. Being a point guard, I think she's still trying to figure us out as well, myself especially, and how to lead the team and what to do. But she's just one of those kids who is going 100% at all time and works so hard. And one of those kids that you can't take off the floor. You do, and you're like, oh, if she was out there, this or that could have happened. So she's really making some strides this year. I'm really proud of what she's doing. And I also think she's one that hasn't really tapped into what she can do, but she's proving it a little bit each game. Her consistency has been huge for us, and she needs to continue for us to be successful.
So if I could just go back one more time, the slow starts have been problematic at times this season. And this past Saturday was no different. 2 for 14, I believe, was the line in the first quarter. So how do you address something like that, where it's like, look, we can't be digging ourselves holes like this against good teams?
Yes, that's exactly what we said. Against the good teams, it's really hard. But also, their defense, we were getting some good shots. We're getting some layups that we were missing. We're getting some wide open shots that we were just missing. But I said, too, that was the fun environment. Like, that has something to do with it. I think having the fans and the community support that we have was huge. We would love to have that every game. So it's not just 1 or 2 games of the year, but when it's there, we got to capitalize on it. And we came out, we got the shots we wanted, and it was like, we're right there. We just got to knock them down and be able to be a little bit consistent. And whether it's a start, playing the second game, or starting in that first quarter in that first game, whatever it is, we got to go. And it can't be against those good teams like that. They capitalize on that, and now you got to dig out of that hole, and that's really hard to do against those good teams.
And speaking of good teams, here comes the monster.
Yep.
Grand Valley State coming up to the house on Thursday, followed by Davenport Saturday. Coach, your thoughts on these upcoming games?
And it's another good team. Obviously, they're top ranking in the country. They're sitting very well. They got a little bit of everything from their guard play to their post play. But again, I think we have to do things really, really well, and we have to execute our game plan to the top level if we want to be good. Can we do that? Yes, I think we have the capability of doing that. It's going to take every day prepping and being ready to go and making sure that we come really ready on Thursday and get a really good start right off the bat. I think it's going to be huge, but being consistent with what we're doing as well, getting those shots, connecting on those shots, and buckling down on defense because they got a high energy offense that's coming at us. We got to be able to slow them down.